My love, I want you to gently bring your attention here, right now, to this very moment, because something inside you has been waiting for you for a very long time. Something soft, something tender, something that has never stopped believing in you, even when you stopped believing in yourself. You have been carrying something within you for a very long time, my love. Something so quiet that you may not even realize how deeply it has shaped your life. A belief that was never truly yours, but one you absorbed from moments, from words from of ease, from experiences when your heart was open and tender. The belief that you are not enough, that somehow life is harder for you because you are lacking something, missing something, or falling short in some invisible way. And I want you to gently pause here, just for a moment, and breathe. Inhale slowly, deeply, as if you are filling your body with softness for the first time today. And exhale, letting go of just a little bit of that weight you didn't know you were still carrying. My dear, this belief did not come from truth. It came from interpretation. It came from pain being misunderstood. When things didn't work out, your mind searched for reasons. When people did not show up the way you needed, your heart tried to explain it. And slowly, without even realizing it, you began to turn inward and say, "It must be me. I am not enough. I am not doing enough. I am not doing enough." But listen to me very gently now. That was never the truth. You were always enough. In your quiet moments, in your confusion, in your sadness, in your trying, in your waiting, in your becoming. There was never a version of you that was less worthy than another, not for a single breath of your life. And still, this belief kept echoing in your mind, shaping how you see yourself, shaping how you approach life, shaping how you respond to challenges. It made you doubt your timing. It made you question your worth when things were slow. It made you compare your journey with others, forgetting that every soul walks its own sacred path. But my love, take a breath here again, slowly, and feel this truth, entering you gently. You were never meant to measure your worth through outcomes. You were never meant to define yourself by delays or by setbacks or by the opinions of others who also carry their own fears. You were always meant to experience life, not to prove yourself to it. And this belief that I am not enough begins to soften when you stop feeding it with fear and start meeting it with compassion. Because even that belief was formed by a younger version of you, a version that was simply trying to understand the world, trying to stay safe, trying to make sense of things that were too big to understand at the time. Now you are here, older, wiser, more aware, and you have the ability to gently question what you once accepted as truth. What if you are already enough? What if you were always enough? What if nothing about you was ever missing, only unfolding? Feel your breath again, slow and steady, and allow your body to soften just a little more. Because, my dear, the moment you begin to release this belief, even slightly, something inside you begins to shift. You begin to see yourself with kinder eyes. You begin to stop fighting your existence. You begin to realize that you don't need to become someone else to be worthy of love, success, or peace. You only need to return to what was always there, the quiet truth beneath all the noise, that you are already whole, already valuable, already deeply enough, just as you are. There is something your heart has struggled to accept, my love, something soft and deeply emotional that your mind has tried to resist because it did not feel fair at the time. Every painful experience you went through, every delay that frustrated you, every heartbreak that felt like it broke, something inside you was never meant to punish you, not even once, not in any hidden way, not in any silent judgment from life. It was always something else, something far more gentle and far more intelligent than fear could understand in the moment. Take a breath with me here. Slowly, and allow your body to settle. Inhale and exhale as if you are letting the past soften just a little. My dear, you were in a process of becoming. Even when it felt like falling apart, you are actually being reshaped. Life was not rejecting you. It was redirecting you. And I know that when you were inside those moments, it did not feel like guidance. It felt like confusion. It felt like silence. It felt like doors closing and paths disappearing. But what you could not see then, and what I gently want you to feel now, is that every ending was protecting you from something that did not belong to your future. Pain has a way of convincing you that it is meaningless, but nothing you lived through was wasted. Not the tears you cried in silence, not the nights you overthought everything, not the times you felt left behind while others moved ahead. All of it was shaping your awareness, softening your heart, expanding your understanding of yourself in ways comfort never could. And my love, I want you to realize something very tender here. You were never being tested in the way you think. You were being guided back to yourself, back to your strength, back to your patience, back to your ability to feel deeply and still continue forward. Sometimes life removes what is familiar, not because you are unworthy of it, but because you are ready for something that matches your true direction. Breathe again, slowly, and feel how your chest rises and falls without effort. Let this rhythm remind you that life itself is still supporting you, even now. There were moments when something did not work out, and you called it failure. But what if it was simply a redirection? There were times when someone walked away, and you called it rejection. But what if it was protection? There were delays that made you feel forgotten, but what if those delays were preparing circumstances you could not yet understand? You see, my dear, life does not rush your becoming. It does not force your growth. It allows it, it unfolds it. Even when your mind wants quick answers, life works in deeper timing, in layers you can only recognize in hindsight. And I know it is not always easy to trust that, but trust is not built in comfort, it is built in reflection. When you look back and realize that what once hurt you also strengthened you, something inside you begins to soften. You begin to see that even the hardest chapters were carrying hidden guidance. Take another gentle breath and allow this truth to rest in your body, not just your thoughts, because every painful experience you survived is proof that you were being held through it, not abandoned in it. My love, there is a truth that has always been quietly present in your life, even when you could not feel it, even when you doubted everything around you. The universe has never been against you, not in your lowest moments, not in your confusion, not in your silence, not even in the times when everything seemed to fall apart at once. And I want you to gently slow down with me here, just for a moment, and breathe. Inhale softly, deeply, and exhale, allowing your body to soften as if you are releasing the weight of old assumptions you have set, buried for too long. You see, my dear, when life becomes painful, the mind naturally searches for meaning. It tries to create explanations for what feels unbearable. And often, without realizing it, You begin to believe that life itself is working against you, that things are happening to you instead of for you, that you are being singled out by struggle or forgotten in some invisible way. But I want to gently open your awareness to something much softer, something more truthful. Life has been responding to you, not rejecting you. Even in moments that felt like loss, something deeper was aligning. Even in silence, something unseen was moving. Even in endings, something new was preparing itself for you. The universe does not operate with punishment or favoritism. It operates with balance, timing, and flow, often beyond what the human mind can immediately understand. Take another breath here, slow and steady, and feel the space in your chest expand just a little more. There were moments when you thought, why is this happening to me? But what if, my love, those moments were actually guiding you away from what was not meant to stay in your life? What if what you called delay was actually divine timing, unfolding in its own intelligence? What if what you called rejection was life gently steering you towards something that aligns more deeply with your true path? The universe has never been silent toward you. It has always been communicating through experiences, through redirections, through subtle shifts that you only begin to understand later. And I know at the time it may have felt confusing, it may have felt unfair, it may have felt like nothing made sense, but meaning is not always immediate. Sometimes understanding arrives only when your heart is ready to receive it. And my dear, I want you to feel this very gently. You were never being abandoned by life. You were being guided through it. Breathe in again and exhale slowly, letting go of the old story that says you are alone in your journey. Because even in your darkest hours, there was movement. Even in your uncertainty, there was direction. Even when you felt stuck, life was still unfolding around you in ways you could not yet see. The universe was not distant from you. It was deeply involved in shaping your path, even through the experiences you did not enjoy. And as you sit with this awareness, something inside you may begin to soften, a quiet release, a subtle shift in how you see your story. You are not fighting against life, my love. You are moving with it, even when it feels like you are not. My love, there is a truth so gentle, so freeing, that your heart has always known it in quiet moments, even when your mind forgot it. You have never been broken. Not once. Not in your lowest day, not in your most confused moment, not in the times you felt overwhelmed by your own thoughts or unsure of your own direction. There has never been anything fundamentally wrong with you. Take a slow breath here, my dear. Just pause with me. Inhale softly and exhale slowly, as if you are letting your body remember safety again. You were never too much. You were never too late. You were never falling behind. You were simply becoming. And I know there were moments when life felt heavy enough to make you question your own worth. Moments when things did not work out the way you hoped. And instead of seeing those moments as experiences, you turned them inward and thought, something must be wrong with me. But that thought, my love, was never your truth. It was only a misunderstanding, born from pain, trying to explain itself. You are not a mistake in progress. You are not a problem waiting to be fixed. You are not incomplete. You are a living, breathing unfolding of life. It's it, all constantly moving, constantly expanding, even when it feels like nothing is changing. Breathe again, slowly, deeply, and feel your chest rise and fall, as if life itself is reminding you that you are still here, still supported, still existing in this moment. My dear, when you look at yourself through the lens of not enough, everything feels like proof of that belief. But when you begin to soften into a gentler truth, something remarkable begins to shift. You start to see that every struggle was teaching you resilience. Every silence was teaching you patience. Every delay was teaching you trust. And every heartbreak was teaching you depth. You were never broken in those experiences. You were being shaped by them. And I want you to gently consider something here. What if the moments you called your lowest were actually moments of deep inner construction? What if life was not tearing you down, but building something within you that you could not yet recognize at the time? Take another breath and let that question sit softly in your awareness. Because, my love, brokenness is not what you are. You are something far more fluid, far more alive, far more intelligent in your unfolding. Even your emotions, even your confusion, even your uncertainty, they are not signs of damage. They are signs of life moving through you, expressing itself through you, teaching you how to understand yourself more deeply. And there is something so beautiful here. When you stop identifying as broken, you stop trying to fix yourself. And when you stop trying to fix yourself, you begin to experience yourself. You begin to listen. You begin to soften. You begin to allow life to flow through you instead of resisting it. My dear, you are not a shattered piece waiting to be repaired. You are a whole presence learning how to see its own wholeness again. Breathe slowly here and feel that truth settling quietly into your heart. Because the more gently you meet yourself, the more clearly you begin to see that nothing was ever missing from you, only misunderstood. My love, healing does not begin in the future, and it does not begin when everything finally feels perfect. It begins right here in this very moment, in the soft space of now, because the present moment is the only place where your life is actually happening. Everything else is memory or imagination. And your body, my dear, your beautiful body, always lives here, always in this breath, always in this heartbeat, always waiting for you to arrive fully into it. Take a slow breath with me now, gently. Inhale and exhale as if you are letting go of the need to fight what is already here. So much of your suffering has not come from your life itself, but from resisting your life, from wishing things were different, from replaying what happened yesterday, from worrying about what might happen tomorrow, and in that resistance, you forgot the most important place of all, the present moment where peace is always quietly available. My love, when you soften into now, something begins to shift inside you. Not because everything outside changes immediately, but because your relationship with everything begins to soften. You stop tightening against life. You stop bracing for impact. You stop holding your breath emotionally, even when you don't realize you were doing it. Breathe again. Slowly feel your chest rise and feel it fall. And notice that in this rhythm, you are already being held by something greater than effort. There is a gentle intelligence within you that responds when you are not resisting, when you are not forcing, when you are not trying to control every outcome. That intelligence begins to rise like calm water when the storm inside you starts to settle. And it begins with awareness, simple, soft awareness of this moment, of this breath, of this body sitting here now. My dear, you do not have to fix everything to feel peace. You only have to return to yourself. And I want you to try something very softly right now. Just notice your breath without changing it. Notice the sensation of air entering your body. And L, easing your body and allow yourself to simply observe. In this observation, there is no judgment. There is no urgency. There is only presence. And presence is where healing quietly begins. You have spent so long tightening against life, trying to solve, trying to predict, trying to prepare for everything, that your nervous system forgot what it feels like to simply be safe in the now. But safety, my love, is not always created by changing your circumstances. It is often created by how gently you meet this very moment. I am safe in this breath. I am safe in this moment. I am learning to soften. Let those words move through you slowly, like gentle waves, not forced, not rushed, just allowed. And as you soften, you may notice something subtle. Your shoulders begin to relax, your thoughts begin to slow, your inner world begins to open just a little more. This is not because everything is solved, but because you have stopped tightening against everything that is unresolved. My dear, healing is not a destination you reach. It is a way of being with yourself, a way of breathing through life instead of resisting it, a way of allowing emotions to move without becoming them, a way of returning again and again to this moment, even when it feels uncomfortable, even when it feels uncomfortable, even when it feels uncertain, because the present moment does not ask you to be perfect. It only asks you to be here. And in this simple presence, in this quiet awareness, something inside you begins to remember that you are already supported, already held, already allowed to rest in the softness of now. My love, there is a very gentle truth I want you to sit with today, not as an idea, but as something you can feel deep inside your body when you slow down enough to listen. Your life is not random. It is not scattered without meaning. It is not moving without direction. It is flowing just like a river, always always finding its way, even when the surface looks still or confused. Take a slow breath with me now. My dear, inhale softly and exhale, letting your body soften as if it is finally allowed to rest in trust, even if only for a moment. There are times when the river of your life flows smoothly and everything feels clear and open. And then there are times when it disappears behind rocks, when the water seems blocked, when you cannot see where it is going. In those moments, your mind begins to panic. It begins to say, I am stuck. I am lost. Nothing is happening for me. But the river has not stopped, my love. It is still moving. It is still carving paths beneath the surface, shaping the ground, preparing new directions that you cannot yet see. And that is exactly how your life has always been working. Breathe again slowly, feel your chest rise and fall, and imagine that rhythm as the river within you, always moving, always alive. Even in your delays, there was movement. Even in your silence, there was progress. Even in your confusion, something was unfolding beneath what your eyes could see. You were never stagnant, even when it felt like nothing was happening. Life was always adjusting you, aligning you, preparing you for the next opening, the next chapter, the next version of your becoming. My dear, you often measure your life by what is visible, by results, by progress, by timelines, by comparisons. But the deeper truth of life is that most transformation happens invisibly first. Just like roots grow underground before a tree rises upward, your life has been growing in ways you have not yet been able to see. And I want you to gently let this sink in. You are not behind. You are not stuck. You are in motion, even when it feels like stillness. Take another breath and allow that thought to soften something inside you. There have been moments when you thought you were going in the wrong direction. But what if even those turns were part of the river, finding its true path? What if nothing you experienced was wasted, but everything was guiding you toward a version of yourself that is more aware, more grounded, more open than before? The river does not argue with its path. It does not compare itself to other rivers. It simply flows, adapting, bending, continuing, trusting its own movement, even through obstacles. And my love, there is something inside you that already knows how to do this. That part of you has never stopped flowing. Even when your mind became heavy, even when your emotions became overwhelming, even when your thoughts told you to give up, something in you kept moving forward, even if only in small ways. That is your inner river. And as you breathe here with me, slowly, gently, you may begin to feel a quiet shift, a soft remembering that your life is not broken into pieces, but connected through movement. Every chapter, every experience, every emotion is part of the same flowing current carrying you forward. You are not outside of life, my dear. You are inside it, flowing with it, becoming with it, always guided, always held, always moving towards something your heart is slowly learning to trust